It's the Bird Feeder Man edition of Snoop Dogg, rolling down the street, sipping on Calm X, dreaming of gin and juice, laid back. Not really, with a nosebleed on my mind. It's not easy living with vampires, being molested by DARPA. It's a double whammy. It's nice of an NPC to cross the road as I approach them. Could it be the big bloody rag hanging out of my nose that caused them to do that? I don't know. So I'm going to apologise again, like a good snivelly bitch slave, for sounding a bit funny in this one. But I'm going to make the video because I think, in all honesty, like, I think the most raw and real and accurate videos in this world, for me anyway, are when I'm traumatised. It's like a big fucking slap in the face that remind me how bad it is here and how much shit, not only what I've been through in the past, but still ongoing, just at a more subtle and just as evil degree. So I made my Calm X anyway. That's one thing that actually does help. Praise the Calm X, hallelujah. I worship the Calm X because it actually does help. It actually does do something that actually does help me. I'm giving all my troubles to Lord Calm X. There was only one set of footprints because Calm X carried me. Calm X carried me to the park. Hallelujah! It's a miracle. You can probably see where this video is going to go. Or it may not, I don't know, but I'm going to be nice enough because I realise that I often do put other people first and their well-being first rather than my own, and that's the fucking truth. I'm going to give a disclaimer and a warning at least. I haven't ever rant about the fucking Bible, and I have a rant about it every day in my mind. It doesn't give me comfort. So but I understand, obviously because this place is so diabolical that people need something to believe in, like that there's a benevolent creator or, some benevolent force that's, can help them out. But I want to fucking rant, and don't watch the video please, especially if you have weak faith. I don't want any people can post what they like obviously, but I'm not going to entertain any fucking scriptures, or I'm pretty obviously not going to be swayed on my views of the Bible. It's having a a satisfying swig of the Carmex. It's good shit, this stuff. Wish there was a bit of alcohol in it, but I can't get away with that anymore, unfortunately. I can't enjoy weed anymore. You know, the good Lord saw fit to take that enjoyment away from me, which sucks. So one of the few things that I could actually afford that helped. I'm gonna have to change my nose rag in a minute. I think it's soaking through. Just bear with me, I gotta walk past some people. You know, stray tennis balls also help me. They help me more than the Lord, because stray tennis balls remind me of my old dog. You know, dog is a love I can understand. That's an unconditional love that I can comprehend. It's logical. I feel it. You know, the DOG, he's not in some lofty fucking high position that, you know, you have to do all this shit to get up there to be able to communicate with him. The DOG comes to you. You know, when you're in need, they sense it. I have dogs that they stop outside my house and the owner has to drag them away. You know, I've had dogs stare at my van when I'm waiting at a roundabout in traffic, and the dog stops, stares at me from across the road, like he can just sense it. There's a dog man, you know. But with this Bible God, like, people will say, he was always there with you, brother, when you were going through it. And it's like, well, he could have fucking said hello. It actually makes it worse for me. Worse, you know. It doesn't give me any comfort at all. All the stuff I hear, you know, the Lord's timing's perfect and all this stuff. Perfect for a loosh farm. You know, the good Lord didn't want you living with a narcissist. That's another one, eh? Well, why is he allowing BlackRock to basically make the accommodation unaffordable so that you're forced? Chances are a lot of people are forced to live with a narcissist, and there is no escape. You know, what about all this Satan has to ask permission from God for blah 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 to do anything here? He has to ask permission. So, like, asking permission, you know, to get all his satanic minions, who probably don't have any free will and they probably do obey Satan to a T. You know, the elites don't mean to be like working for the Satan. Just bear with me, I've got to get across the road. So yeah, it's God's big genius plan, is it, that you know, allowing the housing to become unaffordable, trapping people in narcissistically abusive homes, where they get traumatized year after year till they eventually drop dead. It's God's plan. You know, there's some big fucking lesson to be learnt in that. And I'm just a lowly bird-feeder man that, you know, I'm too stupid to comprehend. You know, who are you to question the infinite wisdom of the Lord? This is just the average, you know, the average rumination daily in my head till I just let it all go and just You know, shut that shit down. Which is why Facebook's bad for me, because every other targeted individual is Christian. And I see these Bible quotes and they don't comfort me. I understand they comfort other people. That's good. You know, I'm genuinely happy for them. Whatever someone can find comfort in, go for it. But it doesn't comfort me. It triggers me and upsets me. You know, the only time I supposedly, possibly knew God was after the 4th round of these microwave weapons that came very close to killing me. You know, very, very close. Like, I was shaking uncontrollably for half an hour after each one. You know, fleeing the house to not have a heart attack. It's interesting, isn't it? The demons don't seem to follow you once you get out of the neighbourhood. That's strange. The DARPA demon. Maybe he's like tethered to his LRAD or something. I don't know. Yeah, I get it. They can target you anywhere, but I don't think they can do that extreme, like, massive hit that's literally just seems to be a trying to kill you sort of thing. I don't think they can do that anywhere. Just losing my train of thought because there's a bunch of people on the street. Sorry about the visuals, I just didn't want to dox myself. You know, I don't need any more trouble from regular maniacs. Not that hopefully none of my subscribers are maniacs. You're just projecting, Perfetta man, you're the maniac. I kind of look at it at the moment. So it probably wasn't very aesthetic. It probably got a bit overexposed in the lovely golden hour light. I think these kind of videos are actually the best videos. I don't give a fuck what anyone thinks, what anyone's, you know, if they want to correct me or if they want to try to give advice that's totally unsolicited. You know, I've had that before. I think these are the most honest ones, because, you know, when the boot's not on the face, spitting blood from my nose, then I tend to do this thing where I, you know, it's probably induced again. It's like, oh, it wasn't so bad. You know, you got through that one. You're still alive. Wasn't so bad. And then, you know, this probably totally induced with frequencies, shame programming, and like, you got to look like a stoic, you know. Or the kind of the pride, the humility, you know, you don't want to humiliate yourself. There's another kind of pride, I guess, that people generally don't talk about. I'm happy to lose that pride, and I'll show my bloodied fucking nose, you know, on display for everyone. I actually respect myself more for doing that. It's just more training and giving, you know, less of a fuck every time. I think that's why Chief Handler doesn't even bother with my channel, because he probably knows I don't give a flying fuck. Instead, you know, people like that, they just pick on the vulnerable, the very vulnerable, people who are still massively, you know, traumatized and emotional. They see a little bit of loosh they can suck out of them. I was watching a Christian deconstruction video just before, and it was about anxiety, and there was some pastor, and he was just, I honestly can't even remember at the moment because my mind's so fucking affected, but it was pretty hard to watch, saying what he did anyway. I can't even fucking remember, to be honest. I can't articulate it well at the moment. But yeah, this lady, her name's like Christy Burke, I think it's Kirsty Burke. Christy, it might be. Yeah, she was talking about anxiety and how it was a serious medical thing, and it is. But this is another situation where a targeted individual doesn't sort of fit in or anything with either side, with the Christians or with what she was saying, because she was saying it's a serious medical issue, and you got to get help from the professionals and this. And I left a comment, I don't know if it'll stay up, but I said DARPA can induce anxiety, frequencies can induce anxiety. Frequencies can literally rattle your nervous system, or they can put thoughts in your mind that make you feel anxious. But again, that could be from Satan. I don't know, their military, one of their acronyms they use is SATAN, isn't it? According to Robert Duncan. Oh, Dr. Robert Duncan, sorry. Better give the proper title. And Satan has to ask permission, so, roundabout way, it's from God. It's actually probably one of the worst ways to view God, and that actually is how I view it. It's like a narc, bullying you and torturing you until you come to them for support. That's how I see it, in all honesty. And, I gave my disclaimer and my warning at the start. I don't want to weaken anyone's faith, and so I said not to watch this video. This is just how I see it, in all honesty. There's a photo, a meme or whatever you call it, on Facebook, and it was a picture of an archer. God was the archer, right? And he was hugging the guy, some guy, and the guy had 3 arrows in his back, and that's kind of what it feels like, kind of what it seems like to me. I tend to see Christianity as mind control, and I know people will say go deeper. They give these one-liners and then they fuck off and they never explain anything. And I'm tempted to say go deeper back to them. But one of the reasons why I view it like that is, as I was saying a wee while back, it was after the 4th time of getting hit by these deadly powerful frequencies. After the 4th round of that, I was so fucking beaten down. This is after the buttering me up with well, if that's the right term, softening me with 4 months, 5 months, whatever it was, of severe noise campaigns and drone flyovers and all sorts of other shit I'm probably not even aware of that were affecting me, mentally. EMFs and breaking my cameras remotely with frequencies and stuff. Hijacking my other camera that did still work. And all sorts of shit I can't even be bothered elaborating on this. But after all of that, after that 4th hit, where I just about had, the 4th one of almost inducing a heart attack and me running off the property and barely staying alive and shaking and being gaslit and knowing I had no one to turn to, and it's all set up to You know, you've only got the Lord. And I dropped to my knees and I prayed and I begged, you know. And then it eased off. It eased off. I never got hit with one of those severe, like, life-threatening fucking hits again that blew my fucking power meter of my home, blew the fuse on that. I never got hit with another one of them. Praise the Lord, you know. And I admit I was walking on eggshells like a nervous wreck, traumatized to fuck. You know, literally walking on eggshells, trying not to offend Lordy. Or else he might send Satan around to smash me up some, you know, good again. He might send the satanic Ashkenazi again. Oh, I mean Nazi. Sorry, we're meant to call them all Nazis. I can't do that because it's a lie. He wasn't a Nazi. You know that guy, that main stalker, attempted murderer, whatever you want to call him, that would be a more accurate term. He spray painted on the house, on the interior wall of the house that he was renting, a big swastika. You know, he literally did a false flag on that house. And he's the opposite of a Nazi. I don't know how many people have gone down that rabbit hole, but not many, seemingly. The World War II stuff and Say No More. You know, you can tell by when people are going, it's the Nazis, you can really tell, like, they haven't done that particular research. Yeah, it's damn hard to not feel anxious in this world. Like when you go through the ZZ song, you've got PTSD from the severe overt stage, but then, you know, you're surrounded by people who are like weaponized flying monkeys of the system, and they're never going to give you any proper support. You might feel the energy of love from them, the authentic ones, but you'll never be on the same page as them as to like what we're living in, you know, as to how do I say it, like they're never going to see it that, you know, alright, we're ruled by psycho-gov and they aren't here to help. You know, Nixon had it right. I think it was Nixon, 9 most dangerous words are, what is it, I'm from the government and I'm here to help. I don't know if that was 9 or 10 words, but fuck it, who cares? And that's what you got to ride out the storm with in this place. A busted umbrella. You know, normies, when they hear our really deep ponderings, like trying to understand what this place is and why we're surrounded by the people we're surrounded by, they just see that as utter madness and they like to laugh about it. You know, he thinks he's in the Matrix and he thinks he's surrounded by NPCs and, you know, he thinks this is purgatory or whatever it is. But it's like, well, have you ever stopped to wonder why we think that? You know, it's because you won't fucking wake up and see the evil. Like, we're wondering how you don't see all this shit. I gotta have another swig of my Carmex, I think. See that? The what is it? The supposed hollow moon base in fine form this Sunday afternoon. Oh, look at this crazy bird feeder, man. He's getting wasted in the park. He's drinking the devil's cure-all elixir. You know, I'm actually, as I said, I'm just drinking Carmex B vitamin supplement for my nervous system, so that it doesn't rattle as long, it doesn't reverberate as long after DARP has played me like a fiddle. It actually works really well. And there was a subscriber that I recommended it to, but he's probably found out by now and I forgot to mention it, I'm sorry. You got to have a, typical of this place, you have to have a naturopath's prescription before you can get it. So I should have mentioned that, and of course that's going to cost like $300 probably. Praise the Lord. You know, but it is guaranteed, I think, to work substantially. You know, it's more guaranteed to work than prayer is. Maybe people can actually pray the B vitamins into their system. I don't know. I would say just, you know, if you can afford it, just pay for the naturopath, because they really do help. In my mind, you know, people could say I'm wrong, but it's like, oh, it's God's will that we have a broken medical system. You know, these people, these pharmaceutical whatever, tippity top, you know, cabal, like they're meant to worship Satan, aren't they? Unless that's all a big giant psyop. But if they worship Satan, you know, Satan at the end of the day, he has to ask permission, as I said. So at the start, like, loads of people say that, loads of Christians acknowledge that Satan has to ask permission. So so yeah, I mean, we wouldn't have a broken medical system if he hadn't been given permission for his minions to carry out their sick, fucked up abuse and, you know, agenda. And people could say, oh no, those ones at the top, they have free will, but do they? Do they have free will? I thought they were all meant to be under the control of the shaitan. The one way I one way I understood this thing, like the broken medical system and that, it's not a very nice way, but I thought, oh, maybe it's just so the only way you can actually get healing is by having to be dependent on God, and if you're not in God's good books, you're fucked. You know, because you don't get that miraculous healing and you have to try to do it all by yourself, and, you know, the good Lord just keeps sending Satan and his minions to job you harder and harder, to the point where you're just this you know, you're the Titanic trying to patch up the fucking wounds with no money available, and meantime people around you are like, you know, fucking putting more holes in you, calling it love. Anyways, I gotta stop this one because I can only go for half an hour. I'm gonna start right back up though.